who are qualified to teach our culture and history, they are also going and traveling. I've been to all of these countries. Our brother Bonea, they're doing. Many of us travel worldwide, teaching our people and restoring this knowledge in the diaspora. Nowhere at any time in history has there been a Hebrew people in Europe. It's not indigenous. And never has there been Europeans that lived in Africa that were again established as a Hebrew people. In 1948, that's when the state of Israel was established. I'll never forget it because I was born in 1948, so I can't forget it. In 1917, the Balfour Convention was held where the United States and other countries got together and they decided to give the Jews a state. They moved from parts of Germany where they were being persecuted. They were even thinking about coming to Venezuela and making that the Holy Land. Guyana was cited. You can check these things out in history. We are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. We must know the truth. Let's play this clip for a little bit. They're speaking Hebrew. Shalom.
Inside Africa, a sound is emanating that is causing reverberations around the world.
They've known this thousands of years before any Jewish community ever existed.
It's the sound of Judaism.
Israelite heritage, not Judaism.
Centuries of colonialism, returning to what they say are their native roots.
Look at this word behind it. It said Israel. It didn't say Jews. Get a little louder. Get a little more volume.
There was a story my mom told me at the age of 6 years. I never forget. He said the Hebrews are Jews.
And it's the story of one man.
You never see this in the mainstream media.
And found answers on the internet, prompting a journey that led him to a community of thousands of Jews.
In this
place where resources are few,
video, if you saw the entire, you would see that he ended up going to another Igbo in the southern part of Nigeria and told him he was not Jewish but Israelites, and then he moved away and comes out to be an Israelite of cultural understanding and abandoning the Jewish idea. The Jewish rabbi even makes a trip here and gives them books and what have you to help convert them.
They say, no, I'm Nigerian. They say you're black. I say, yes. They say, no, it's not true.
You're not true. You see? They always deny that you're the
I am
people.
like an outcast among them.
And in this volatile Christian-Muslim nation, there often turns to
The
violence.
Biafra Wars. They killed thousands of Israelites. They didn't tell you that the Biafra Wars was this Christians killing the Hebrews in the land of
25
Nigeria.
million strong. A people once under siege by their very own government.
That's the war, Biafra War.
And a people once captured and shipped across the Atlantic by the
Hausa live in Nigeria. The Christians, those, the Hebrew, the Igbos, are the only Nigerians that never converted to Islam or Christianity.
Raising questions of cultural identity for countless African Americans.
Everywhere in the diaspora, we search, as Leo's document showed, we're the only people that think about who am I, where am I from? The Gullah tribes down in Georgia, they also trace back to the Igbos. They know that they're Hebrews also. You know the Gullah, you think about those. These are university scholars that also are saying the same thing. Another video, please.
African American.
I don't know.
I wasn't born and raised.
And this one, Amari Stoudemire, everybody know who that is?
Yeah.
Who used to be a New York Knick. He's also a Hebrew. Do you remember Reggie White? Reggie White was the defensive end.
Right, for Philadelphia Eagles.
And Green Bay Packers. Feared.
Right.
Died declaring he was a Hebrew Israelite. Went to Israel, converted his whole church to the Torah and to the heritage.
When he started on this path, there was no instruction. Where was this black
Get a little more volume. Can you hear it in the back?
Everything is based around everlasting life.
This is in Dimona, Israel. Thousands of Israel live in the Dimona, Israel, southern part of the Negev desert in the land of Israel. Over 5,000. This is their story.
No,
Our original homeland.
no guns, no race,
The most
no lying politics,
valuable piece of real estate on the earth.
no
The Suez Canal was again there, and they made a passage separating Northeast Africa from other parts of Africa. Now they call it the Middle East. It's not the Middle East. It's our
no
land.
jails or prisons, no fighting.
The most beautiful land on the planet. You need to go to Israel, you'll see. Your eyes will never ever feature a land like that. The Creator said it's the beauty of all the lands. Who would know better than the maker of heaven and earth? This is why they don't want you to ever think about this. You want to go back there. You want to reclaim your heritage. You want to reclaim your land. Just pause it for a moment. It says here, no justice, no peace. There'll never be any peace on this earth until the justice, the righting of our Holocaust, which is the real Holocaust, is known and is understood and is again restored. Think about it. Reparations to the Japanese. They bombed Germany, they gave them money. What have we ever received for what they have done to us as a people? Not even restoring or redeeming our minds and restoring our identity. The Left Forum started as an idea in France. The French had a parliament that to the right were those who were the establishment in the system. As Leah showed you, the system, the institutions that oppress some of the people and that have inequalities and discriminations against some of the people. So in France, where this original idea being left, those who sat to the left were considered those who were fighting for the rights and the injustices in France. So therefore, this is called the Left Forum, because now you are the ones, or the outcasts, who are trying to get your rights. You're like the 1%ers, the rich, and the 99%ers, you're the left over there. Here's the 1%ers over here. And so all of these forums that's being held here today center around different groups. Some fighting for Palestinian rights. Other groups here having forums, and they're packed with people fighting for rights for the homeless, rights for people that don't have no jobs. All of the things that people think are left ideas or ideas that happen to be oppressed in one way or another, dealt with inequalities for one reason, discriminated racially, all of those, this forum has been set up and designed for those people to get their voice in a place like this. And so I want to thank you, like Leah has, for coming, for listening, and this is going to be being recorded to be shown to a wider audience. Because, see, for us, these issues are not important enough. That's why she said we have to have the dialogue. We have to draw people in to think about these things and to be made aware of things that the media will not ever show you on Channel 2. It's not going to show you this on Eyewitness News. This is not going to come up on CNN. It's only because this is another way they oppress us. We don't get equal time. And so again, understand what this forum is about. Go and tell someone. Let them know what you heard from Leah. Remember those statistics and share them. Each one teach one. This is when they went into the land in 1967, led by a man, Ben Ami, who made transition last year. He died and lived for this
a bus
cause.
driver who had
Took
a vision.
5,000 people there and raised them up, and originally went with 400 people. The group grew. That's him speaking.
It was time to start the journey back to the promised land.
In 1967, when the riots were held in America, quietly they made an exodus out of America and went to the promised land to set up the kingdom of the Creator. The nation of Israel returned to the Holy Land.
In 1969,
The
after a
Philosophers,
stopover in Liberia,
taken there by covert
made it to the
flight,
Union.
Operation Moses, Operation Solomon. You can look it up, Google anything today. And they were taken from Ethiopia. That's why he was saying earlier that white
At first, they
European,
were, but then
speaking the
relations
truth,
began to sound.
that why aren't they only dealing with the ones in Ethiopia? Why aren't they bringing you to Israel? Why aren't they going to Jamaica, to Barbados? Why are they only just dealing with these Ethiopians and keeping it quiet, telling you that you're also?
We just saw it as another group of Europeans dictating for us who we were, what we could do, and what we could not do.
Stevie Wonder in the land of Israel. He knows that we're Hebrew Israelites.
Supporters like Stevie Wonder, the community remained in official limbo for decades.
Stevie Wonder had a nanny that's in this group, and she told him about what she was doing. She was actually his Stevie's babysitter, and so he came to Israel. Winnie Mandela also knows, visit our community, also helped with Nelson Mandela. 3 million Zulu South Africans were circumcised after being told by our community that they're Hebrew Israelites in the course of 1 week. The king said, you're Hebrews, get circumcised. When the king in South Africa tells black people to do something, everybody in the tribe does it. 3 million, just on the king's word. I spoke with this man. We are the people of Israel. We always knew and understood, but they've been able to break it down and make it clear. Go get circumcised. I met them. I had dinner with them in South Africa. His sons, the princes, came. That's my first time I had to learn how to eat with chopsticks in a Japanese restaurant, vegetarian, in South Africa.
Never in my life have I ever been short of words. Therefore, I am known for the noise I make. My brother and my brother and our leader here. The beautiful sisters with the most gorgeous outfits.
We make our own clothing. Everything from the hats on our head to the shoes on our feet.
I love you
They
so
make it
much.
up.
Our experience this morning is historical. For me to be standing here with you in Jerusalem, North Africa, where you originally came from.
Not the Middle East.
I have so much admiration for what you have done, for where you are here.
Time doesn't permit us to show all of this. We're just going to take another minute or so.
Not only
Go to the next one.
I'm standing here.
Maurice Stoudemire, former
How was your
Knicks,
visit,
now he plays for the Mavericks.
It's
I
been
think
great.
in
It's
Texas.
been great starting off in Jerusalem.
Knows he's a Hebrew
There's a
Israelite.
lot of history.
They're trying to make him Jewish too, with the yarmulke. But he's been in our community. In fact, he produced a movie on our experience. One of the ones we
You
saw.
talked about wanting to learn more about yourself, about
Been
the
interviewed
roots.
about you.
What have you learned so far?
Well, definitely I'm a history guy. I love history. I love studying. And one thing I wanted to do is try to find my original culture. very spiritual. And this trip actually helped me a lot with finding the original culture.
What, you met some people that knew about your personal history?
No, well, I knew about my personal history, and I knew it began here. So it was a great opportunity for me to travel here and learn the culture, so that way I can now apply that to my everyday lifestyle.
So I mean, is there a chance you're Jewish somehow?
I think through history, I think we all are.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, so it's a
See,
beautiful
it's
culture.
not
It's a
clear.
original culture.
It's not clear
From a
on exactly
spirituality
what it is.
standpoint,
The European Jews trying to guide him and steer him towards
I feel
saying
blessed to be
we
able to
all the
come to this
one.
understanding.
We know about that
And
DNA. They're not.
So it's more about belief than
They don't have the same
actual,
mother.
you know, being
And
Jewish
father.
and your mother having some roots.
Yeah, I didn't grow up in a traditional Jewish home. Never had a bar mitzvah, things of that nature. But now I think by reading the scriptures, it's very important to
See how he got it by reading
celebrate
what?
the holy days,
The scriptures.
the Shabbat,
History book, the Old Testament.
Passover.
He met our
It's
community.
very, very important with connecting yourself with your spirituality.
So
So
move on. Reggie White. This was on CNN. I was in Guyana, South America, when this appeared on 60 Minutes. 60 Minutes.
Reggie talked always about how football is a platform for him to have a greater calling to reach more people through a religious avenue. The fact was, I think football to a large degree did identify Reggie White. And it was terribly difficult for him to give the game up.
Following his retirement in 1999, Reggie White returned in 2000 with Carolina. After one season with the Panthers, he retired for good and pursued a reappraisal of his religious life.
Reggie was never satisfied with anything. And when it came to religion, he was not satisfied with other people's interpretation. There was a building resentment of organized religion for him that developed over the years.
He felt that he was repeating stuff that he had read, that other people had told him, that he was just mouthing religious platitudes that he had picked up along the way. And he said that, you know, when I look back on it, I wasn't a preacher as much as I was a motivational speaker. And that frustrated me.
There was a time when there was a realization to him that God told me to go to Green Bay. He said that was ridiculous to say. Shouldn't have said that. That's not true.
One of his biggest regrets was the speech he made before the Wisconsin State Legislature. That to him typified other people's ideas about people. It was one of the reasons that he felt he had to go back to the source.
Many of us say we're Christian because our parents, grandparents,
After
aunts,
being one of the
uncles
most
were
visible
Christian.
Christian athletes,
That
White
troubled
stopped
him.
attending church.
It just didn't
Instead
add
of
up. He had to
preaching
do
and
further
celebrating
research.
Christmas, he
Research is what we need to
in
do.
Old Testament scripture.
His purpose
Went back to the Old Testament.
was to try and get some type of definitive answers. He saw that the message he was preaching wasn't exactly reflected in Scripture, and he wanted to know what is really the will of the Creator.
Ancient Hebrew, original language, the modern Hebrew of the Jews.
His situation, he wanted to maybe.
He had gotten himself to the point where he could actually.
Sister, they live in North Carolina now. There's another story that I can speak about
I'm
with
going
the
to
family.
live
So we're
my
going to
life
move
with
on.
God and do what God wants me to do. I have to know the truth.
I asked the question, who are the real children of Israel? And I'd like to answer it right away.
Go ahead, you minister.
Like any good lawyer in a courtroom, he tells you what he's going to prove.
All right.
And then he goes ahead and proves it and let the jury make the decision. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad has said that Almighty God Allah revealed to him that the black people of America are the real children of Israel. And we are the choice of God. And that unto us he will deliver his promise. This question says that somebody
Yes, sir.
has usurped our position.
That's right. Your land, your language, your culture.
This question says that somebody has taken the promise of God to the children of Israel and claimed it for themselves. For those of you
we just don't have time to do it all. We want to move along. I think he's making our point. Rather you just hear me say it.
I'm here in Jerusalem across from the Knesset where hundreds of Ethiopians are protesting against what's called
sounds like Baltimore, doesn't it?
in Israeli society. They're
oppression, injustice in the land of Israel. That's what the first speaker was speaking about when he said that Ethiopians are being oppressed, mistreated in the land of Israel. They're protesting, just like in Baltimore, just like they're doing in Missouri, just like they're doing in New York City. This is not an injustice, it's just in the United States of America. It's global, because the diaspora is where all the Israelites are, even in the land of Israel. Ethiopian Israeli protesting over racial discrimination. They are not getting the jobs.
In the Israeli army. Now I demand my rights back.
His rights. Fighting for Israel, why can't I get equal rights? Such like the Buffalo Soldiers, right here, and many of the others that fought in the army, military in this country.
I've never seen such racism, and it was in broad daylight. People were, it was about 120 families that signed a petition against black people, against Ethiopian people, that they don't want us to live at their neighborhood. And we live in a democratic country, and we never thought this would happen here.
I want to open the floor up for any questions that might.
Does anyone have any questions that they would like to ask Cohane or Leah?
Can I get a response? What you think about it? Young man right here in front. What are your thoughts about what you've heard today?
Oh, well, I think you put a lot on the table. A lot on the table. I'm not a religious person per se. I'm not a religious person. You know, I'm not even a God believer, but I came to this because I just want to see what, people have to say. I appreciate the information, but I mean, I have to be honest, I'm not a God believer at all. I have a problem with that notion of that. I'm very materialistic. I'm a materialist in that sense. But I do think, as a Pan-Africanist, that's my role, is that we were taken from Africa and enslaved here, and so we lost our homeland. And that's the reason why we don't have a flag in the UN. It's because we don't own a nation, and so we've been taught to think, well, we should be disconnected from Africa. I went to Africa in '94, and one thing I said to people all the time, this is where we need to be. I mean, we're not going to make it here. This should be clear by now. We're not going to make it here. We can survive, but we're never going to be powerful as a people in this country. As much as we've done to make this country try to improve itself, and make democracy real or whatever it says it is, we're going to always struggle here because we don't have the resources, we don't own our institutions, and we have an identity crisis like we did all things talking about. So I mean, I'm not against people having their own religious beliefs, but I just think that it's really about power. Do we have power to own and control resources, own and control institutions? We're sending our kids to a bunch of people that don't know who our kids are, and then we wonder why the kids are disinterested in school, why they act up, because the teachers don't know our kids. The education is not about us. So, I mean, I wish I could have more time to go into it more, but I appreciate you asking.
I appreciate your comments. Mm-hmm. Well, just let me make one point clear in that Israelites do not look at themselves as a religion. You've been listening to everything we've been saying. Mm-hmm. It's about knowing your identity. Identity not of a religion, your ethnicity, your nationality, your sovereignty, when you say African or Pan-Africanist, but at the same time, I know from where in Africa I've come, and that's where, when you think about any human being, you're born into a nation, a family, and all families make up nations. So again, I can understand your materialistic thought and the manner in which you stated it, but I want to make clear the point that we're not talking about religion. We're not talking about this Christianity, those religions. No, we're talking about we have an identity crisis. Identifying your language, identifying, which everyone has. What is our original language? What is our original homeland? What is our original history, culture? We are Israelites, and if we study that and research it, it'll lead us to our spirituality that does not lead to religion. Having a spirit, a breath of life within you is a creator, and that's who we understand, spirituality, not religion. I want to thank you and everyone else for the opportunity.
I would like to thank everyone for taking the time to come here today. I'm honored to be here, and it's truly been a blessing. Have a great day, and shalom.
Shalom.